A huge weather pattern change is coming to the United States over the next few days, as we are anticipating a few more storm systems along the southern tier of the United States. But as we go into next week, there is a chance that we see another major storm system that brings severe weather and even the potential for snowfall. So in today's forecast, we're going to break down exactly what you need to know about the weather that'll be impacting the United States over the next 7 to 10 days. And it'll begin with what's happening across the country this morning and that big storm that brought a ton of severe weather over the last 3 days. But the good news is that this storm system is moving out, only a few showers left over back in New England this morning, and also colder weather is on the backside of this very strong low pressure system that has actually led to a few little snow squalls that have moved through areas like Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky, and even some snow flurries back over in parts of Tennessee. But again, this storm system is going to be moving out. Warmer weather is going to build as we go into this weekend before more storm systems come into the southern plains as we go into Saturday and into Sunday, and we are anticipating the return of some showers and thunderstorms, even some isolated severe weather, which we'll talk more about here in just a moment. And this storm system that we're talking about Saturday into Sunday could even bring some snowfall to areas like Oklahoma, Texas, maybe even back over into Kansas. Our active weather pattern is going to be continuing across the country over the next couple of weeks as we are anticipating multiple big storm systems. So let's talk more about that, beginning with our jet stream. We have two troughs right now in the United States. We have one back along the west coast, which is bringing lots of snow and rain to areas like California and even back over in the four quarter states. And we also have that trough that is leaving the United States, which left behind a lot of wind damage. And we actually had 22 confirmed tornadoes out of the storm system over the last about 72 hours or so, which is actually more tornadoes than I even thought came out of the storm system. With that said, this storm was anticipated to bring even more tornadoes than that. So we actually lucked out that we didn't have as many tornadoes as we could have had out of that particular storm setup. As we go into Friday and into Saturday, the storm system that's back over on the west coast is going to move over the Rockies and eventually into the southern plains. This is going to lead to some showers and thunderstorms as we go into Saturday across the southern plains, and then as we go into Sunday, it'll move into the southeast with the potential for some isolated severe weather. As we go into Monday into Tuesday, we're going to have a brief transition really into a large ridge that's going to build in the United States, which is going to keep many areas in the Great Plains relatively dry. However, as we go closer to the middle and end of the week, that is when we're anticipating at least one storm system to move across the central plains. This would be Wednesday into Thursday. Some showers and thunderstorms. Doesn't appear as if it's going to be a big storm event, but maybe something to watch for some scattered severe weather. And then eventually, as we go into Thursday into Friday, this is the time frame where there is a lot more confidence that we're talking about another major storm system. And I honestly think that this storm right here could be comparable to what we just saw here over the last few days. Now, it's too early to go into specific details here about exactly what this is going to be bringing, like severe weather or a winter storm. However, there's a lot of confidence right now that this will be a pretty intense trough system that'll be moving across the Rockies and into the United States as we go into Friday and Saturday. So make sure you're staying weather aware on those 2 days as we go into next week. Again, it's obviously about 7 to 8 days from now, but definitely a time frame that we're going to be watching very closely. And we're going to talk more about this setup here in just a few minutes. Now let's put this all more into simplistic terms by looking at the future radar over the next couple of weeks, beginning with what's happening today. And we have a lot of snow falling across the Rockies. This is definitely great for those that are going to be skiing. Still some showers left over as well back over in California, but that's going to be moving out as we go into tonight. Also a little bit of snow still remaining back over in the Northeast. Eventually, as we go into tomorrow, we're going to be watching a little storm system that'll be moving over the Rockies. That's basically the remnants of what we're seeing right now in the Rockies. This will be moving into the central plains in the Midwest with some light to moderate snowfall as we go into tomorrow morning. And then eventually, as we go into late Friday, we'll be talking about some light to moderate snow even back over into parts of Ohio, Indiana, Pennsylvania, and maybe a few snow flurries back over in West Virginia. As we go into Saturday morning, that storm system fizzles out and a new one will be forming back over in the southern plains. In general, this is a relatively weak storm. We're talking about some showers in addition to a little bit of snowfall across the southern plains during the morning hours on Saturday. And then eventually by Saturday afternoon and evening, we are anticipating a few showers and thunderstorms to form back over in the Dixie Alley, where there could again be some isolated severe weather, but I'm not anticipating any outbreak or anything like that. And then as we go into Sunday morning, the showers and thunderstorms continue to push across the Dixie Alley. There will still be a chance for some light snowfall across parts of Texas, Oklahoma, and as well as northwestern Arkansas. This is expected to be just some very light snow flurries. It's a low chance. It's not guaranteed, but it is something to keep a close eye out if you want to see a little bit more snow before winter is officially over here in the southern plains. And then eventually, as we go into Sunday afternoon, there will be more showers and thunderstorms, but most of them will be offshore as we go into Sunday afternoon. Small little Alberta Clipper will be just off to the north there of the Midwest, as well as we go into Sunday night. That'll move into the northeast on Monday with some very light snowfall. As we go into Tuesday, yet again, another Alberta Clipper appears likely back over just north of the upper Midwest. Again, we're going to see that little bit of snow just missing the United States once again, unless you're back over in northern New England. Now, the big story, I think, as we go into next week is going to be what we're talking about as we go into Thursday. But before that happens, we will need to watch this small storm system that moves into the central and southern plains on Wednesday. Perhaps some isolated severe weather being possible out of that, maybe even a little bit of snowfall back up into parts of Canada, as well as near the Great Lakes region. Notice how that moves east as we go into Thursday, and then eventually by Friday, this is where confidence currently is increasing quite a bit, where we're going to have a large storm system forming over the Rockies, and we could have the potential for a significant severe weather event in addition to the potential for snowfall. Now, as I mentioned before, this is about 7 to 8 days from now, which is obviously a long time. I don't think there's anything set in stone at this point in terms of what we're going to be seeing for severe weather or snowfall. We are definitely going to see some changes to the forecast. One thing I know for certain, though, is that the synoptic scale is definitely indicating that we have a high likelihood of seeing a large and potentially potent trough in the middle of March here, right around Friday and Saturday. This is likely going to produce some severe weather, and it will likely produce the threat for some winter storm activity. Exactly where all that happens, though, is very uncertain. We don't really know exactly where those mesoscale features are going to end up happening either Friday or Saturday, but notice how impressive this trough is, and in fact, it's actually stronger than the last one we had, down near 973 millibars, being indicated by the GFS model as we go into Friday afternoon. Keep in mind that we shattered some barometric pressure records back over in the Midwest literally yesterday, with pressure down near 979 millibars. So if we had a strong trough like this could be another really record-breaking storm system when it comes to pressure as we go into Friday and Saturday, and then that'll eventually move into the northeast as we go into Sunday, as well as into Monday. For reference, the European model does show this storm system as well. Almost every computer model is showing a big storm around Friday and Saturday. There is a difference, though. This one has severe weather much further to the east and does not have as intense of a winter storm system, but again, still has barometric pressure pretty low, which would mean high winds are probably going to be happening for most of the United States if this actually verifies. We'd be talking about a large swath of gusty winds across most of the country, very similar to what we've been dealing with really over the last 72 hours or so, which led to some fire conditions and obviously some flying trampolines. So definitely going to be something to watch for. But again, a lot of uncertainty as of right now in terms of mesoscale features here, but I'm giving you an early heads up that there will likely be a big storm as we go into Friday and Saturday, and it does not. And honestly, we're probably going to have a live stream next week with the current trends that we are seeing, so make sure you are subscribed to the channel and click the bell icon down below so you're notified whenever our next video update comes out or whenever we do go live. And also for my West Coast listeners, we are anticipating multiple storm systems as we go into the work week next week. One storm will be impacting California as we go into Monday with some showers and even snow showers in the higher elevations. A much stronger storm, though, is expected as we go into Wednesday. This will unleash a ton of snow and rain across the West Coast, likely going to see very high winds as well. And this storm system right here is what's going to eventually lead to a big storm in the Great Plains as we go into Friday of next week. There will be a little bit of snowfall as we go into tonight and tomorrow morning back over in the Central Plains in the Midwest. We're not expecting anything very significant unless you're back over in the Rockies, where 1 to 2 feet of snow is in the forecast in the higher elevations here just over the next 48 hours. But if you're back over in parts of Iowa, Nebraska, and South Dakota, there will be a thin swath here of snowfall between approximately 2 to 4 inches of snow. A few locations in northern Nebraska will be between 4 to 8 inches of snowfall. So some healthy snowfall accumulation here, especially with the snow drought we've had all winter long in the Central Plains. And our temperature roller coaster will continue over the next 10 days as we are going to continue to see a swing between above and below average temperatures for most of the country. But as we go into Tuesday of next week, we are going to have some very warm air building across the Midwest and the Great Plains, which could lead to some record-breaking high temperatures as we go into Tuesday. Eventually by Wednesday into Thursday, we're right back to around average. Much colder weather moving into the West Coast as we go into Thursday behind that really intense cyclone that is likely across the Pacific Northwest Wednesday and Thursday. And then eventually as we go into Friday, Saturday of next weekend, things become a bit more uncertain. However, we are expecting a lot of warm air to lift out of the Gulf, moving to the north and eventually leading to some moisture that'll lead to some showers and thunderstorms, I think, even back up and maybe into the Ohio Valley on Saturday. But otherwise, that's really about it. I don't really think we're going to have any more Arctic blasts this winter. I definitely think we have a few more shots of snowfall, but that doesn't really mean we're going to be seeing Arctic air come out of Canada. So good news, if you want warmer weather, spring is coming for most of the United States. The Climate Prediction Center also agrees with that, unless unless you are west of the Great Plains. If you're anywhere along the Rocky Mountains or back over closer to California, well below average temperatures are likely as we go into Tuesday of next week all the way through Saturday, which is March 11th through the 15th, while above average temperatures are likely anywhere in the Great Plains all the way back through the East Coast. And then in terms of rainfall or even snowfall, we are anticipating above average precipitation anywhere in the green, which is basically everywhere in the country unless you are in Texas. Texas is in a bit of a hole here as we go into the work week next week. And also notice the probability is very high back over in California, Nevada, and Arizona for above average rainfall, which means flooding and mudslides will be a possibility in these areas. And as always, thank you all so much for watching today's video. If you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below. And if you want to support our channel and what we do here, make sure to go check out our store at shopmaxvelocity.net. We still have our 1 million subscriber merch available, including our signed hats in addition to our t-shirts, mugs, stickers, and as well as posters. Really cool designs. You're also supporting our designer by picking something up here at shopmaxvelocity.net. You can check that out with the top link in the description below or shopmaxvelocity.net.